Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So nice to have you here. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to. Today is a really interesting day because we are talking with Enrique Allende, and he's a performance coach. And I love the title for today, which is Becoming Invincible. And I think that's the attitude we should all have by the end of the year and the beginning of the following year. Like we should have this positive, like encouraging, motivating, vibration, those vibes. So, Enrique, so much to have you. Let me just welcome you here. Hello, hello.
Hello, Gabby. How are you?
Great. Excellent. Much better now that we are going live. Because
Ah,
I really wanted to share with you. So, and learn from you.
thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for inviting me. It's a challenge for me, and that's the first thing I want to share with everyone. Face your demons, people. Face your demons. It's not all about positive thinking and vibe higher. It's not all about that. It's not all about positive thinking. You have to face
Mm-hmm.
your demons in order to get better. That's all. That's all the secret, right? And I begin with that because English is something we could name as one of my demons because I love the language and I read in English, but I never use it. I never speak it to anyone. I mean, before this, it's been like, I don't know, what, 5, 6 years since I uh, verbally expressed myself through English. At least 5 or 6 years. Right. So I'm really feeling the lack of practice here. I'm going to sound a little rusty or a lot rusty today, but anything that comes out of me, it will come directly from my heart. So thank you for inviting me.
That's what matters. I mean, languages are not for us to be perfect, to communicate, perfectly, but it is to communicate. So whatever it is in your heart that you want to communicate, that is the purpose of, languages, communicating whatever the language. The idea is to communicate. So you are here, free to say whatever you want and forget about mistakes or challenges or anything. Just go ahead. Now,
Right.
you are a performance coach. So,
Uh-huh.
what does that mean? What is a performance coach? Why a performance coach? And then, why Invincible?
Well, I was originally an industrial engineer in Chile. I worked for two big companies for a total of 12 years, right? In the Coca-Cola system first, and in one of the biggest. I think it's still the biggest telecommunications company here. Um, and I understood what leadership is, what performance
Mhm.
is from inside, right? I did 9 different things in two different companies in 12 years. So I understood a lot of things. I had a lot of pain. I suffered a lot of pain with leaders, with my own leaders, leading hundreds and even thousands of people, both good or bad, and bad, uh, and bad leadership. I mean, not bad people.
Mhm.
But it was all on me. Um, but after that, I I began a 4 year journey of understanding more and more of human behavior. Right? I needed to understand why do we make decisions the way we make them.
Mhm.
Why do we react the way we do when feelings arise? Why do we react when we say we are rational beings?
Yes.
Example, uh, how do we perform? How can we perform better? What about our health? What about our
Mhm.
mental health? What about our physical health? What about our spiritual connection? What about our energy? What about all those areas of our lives we don't know about because
Mm-hmm.
we were told we were rational beings, which is, of course, completely, and let me cuss a little, completely bullshit. So,
Yeah.
so so the the statement I made to myself was, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
no more bullshit leadership here. No more bullshit teachings
Mm-hmm.
from now on for me and for the people I teach." Yeah,
Yes.
I've taught in two universities in Chile, and I've coached
Wow.
tens of people after this, or after the beginning of this 4 year journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my only statement. That's my only statement. I really need to understand, why do we behave the way we do, right?
Yes.
And I I name myself as a performance coach now because I love to work with people in really high positions in companies.
Okay.
And I've done it with people from 5 different countries this last year. Since I began with the Invincible framework, which is not a program, it is a framework. I'm gonna go deep into that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but um, I said, hey, I love to work with these people because these people are in a position of making a difference for themselves first, and from themselves to the thousands of people they have to lead every day, right?
Yes.
When we transform ourselves, we irradiate that transformations to others.
Mm-hmm.
We lead, right? And we lead in 360 degrees when we understand that. So people come to me saying, "Hey, I don't have enough energy. I'm doing really well in my career, but I don't have enough energy. It's not a money problem anymore. But there's too much pressure. I don't have time
Mm-hmm.
for my kids, for my wife, for my husband. I don't have time for my hobbies. I don't feel I have energy. I'm doing really well in my career, but this doesn't make any sense any longer. So I need to make a change in my life. Not because I'm dying, but because I know there's a potential in me
Mm-hmm.
to have a better life. That's
Yes.
all. In tens of different forms, it's the same pain. And I've seen it in tens of people, maybe hundreds of people I've chatted with this year, uh, all throughout Latin America. And
Okay.
I work through this with people from many different countries, with many different cultures. And it's all the same. We're in the same train today, the
Okay.
purpose train. The, uh, the how can I perform better in what I do because it already makes sense? Or how can I take all of this power I've
Mm-hmm.
discovered I have within me and put some purpose to it, right?
So,
And
so no matter the culture, we most of us we have the same concerns, right? No
the same.
matter the country we come from.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Great.
I've
That's
talked about this.
interesting.
I've talked about this with people from Chile, Peru,
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, uh, Ecuador, Panama, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, República Dominicana, Mexico. Many people from Mexico,
Whatever.
and Mexican and Chilean people. We're um, how do we say this? We're we're really similar culturally.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a discovery. We share the same concerns and pains.
Awesome. Okay. How did you come up with this mindset change? Because there's a lot of people who are tired, who are, like frustrated, but something is to be frustrated and something else is realizing what to do about it. See
Yeah,
what I mean? So how do you come up with, okay, this is how I'm going to change my life. This is what I'm going to be next. This is what I'm going to do next.
you know, it's it's all because of the discoveries I made
Okay.
in my own trip, in my own journey,
Okay.
right? Of rediscovering myself or the journey of understanding who I really am, who I really
Mm-hmm.
was in that stage of my life. And one of the first big discoveries I made was that it's not everything here.
Okay.
In fact, the key is never ever here. When we talk about mindset, we can declare and decree and etc. etc. Hey, I am abundant, I am powerful, I am this, I am this, I am that. But if you don't believe it, it won't work for you.
Yes.
And if you don't have the energy, and that was one of the first big leaps I made. If you don't have the energy
Mm-hmm.
and the emotional balance, you won't have any energy, you won't have any power in order to make any change in your life. So,
Yes.
so what's step number one of this
Huh.
framework I've been working in the last year, which is named Invincible? By
Yes.
the way, my, by the way, every time I name some of my programs or frameworks or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it doesn't come from here. It comes from inspiration
Great.
that comes from somewhere else. hmm So,
Great.
uh, I'm going to say something that most of the people won't get, except people who have read Carlos Castañeda. Mhm.
Okay.
The tonal cannot create anything. Only the nahual can. Only this part of us that is beyond language can
Mm-hmm.
create divine things, right? We can, as a physical human being, just recombine pieces, but there's something else, and I've been discovering that something else for the last 4 years of my life, and I've
Okay.
learned more about me in these 4 years than I learned the first 36. You know, um, so one of the things I understood is that the
Mm-hmm.
first step, the base of our power, it is in our emotional state, our emotional balance,
Yes.
and our energy. Without that, uh, it's impossible to change your mindset, your habits, and become a elite performer. It is all about emotional balancing first.
Okay. So it is also about like managing our energy, like setting boundaries so we can keep our energy.
Higher. Because it's about the first big fight we engage with my invisible coaches is the fight for energy, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and we do that through a lot of strategies combined.
Yes.
One is boundaries, but what kind of boundaries? You know,
Exactly.
every single person I work with begins their journey saying, "Hey, I would love to do something else with my life, but I don't have enough time." I mean, want to see my schedule? Want to see my agenda? I mean, 10 hours a day, no stop, 15 minutes to lunch, because they put meetings in my schedule every single day. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
say no. I cannot say no. I have my responsibilities. I'm too
Mm-hmm.
important for this company because they are important people within the structure of their companies. They are indeed. The thing is, putting some boundaries there is key, but we have to understand why haven't you been able to put those boundaries there, to set those boundaries, to communicate those boundaries?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we go back to what emotions are, what the origin of our reaction is. Uh, and that's a mental pattern. Many
It
times,
is.
Gabby, when we're adults, we react to things and we don't even understand why we are reacting.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, explosively. Yeah, we don't understand, but
Yes.
most of the time, that is caused by a traumatic event in your childhood that was so painful for you
Mm-hmm.
that a part of your brain decided to say, "Hey, okay." So Gabby had to go through this painful moment. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was an emotional, in, an, an, an intense moment, emotionally speaking, and that became a sensation in Gabby's body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, brain, I'm going to remember not only this traumatic event, not only this mental information, but also this reaction in our body. And I'm going to remember the connection between them, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
when Gabby is a grown up, Gabby goes again uh, and faces something that it's somehow similar to that first time event.
Mm-hmm.
And just as an act of magic, Gabby's body reacts
Yes.
exactly as the first time
Mm-hmm.
because the brain wants to protect Gabby
Yes,
from what it
absolutely.
knows that's painful, right? Those kind of things, those kinds of connections
Mm-hmm.
are present in our lives in subtle ways we don't know about.
We don't realize, right? We're not aware.
Excuse me, we're not aware of them. We're
Mm-hmm.
almost never aware of them, right? The thing is, in case there are some cases when we don't want to say no,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, we don't want to make another human being feels uncomfortable, and
Okay.
but we cannot control it. And why can't we control it? Because when we were kids, there was some event that programmed us in
Yes.
order to prevent to hurt another human being, or we saw another people hurting a third. So we decided unconsciously
Mm-hmm.
to have an automatic reaction.
Response. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're full of that,
Okay.
full of those reactions about uh, fear and rage or wrath, um, and that conditions our behavior a lot more than we know
Mm-hmm.
are aware of, right? So first thing we gotta understand is what the origin of our behavioral patterns is in order to unblock and erase, if we can, with
Mm-hmm.
some advanced neuroscience techniques, um, in order to reprogram our beliefs in the direction we want to in this stage of our life.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest fights when we try to recover energy, right?
Mm.
Another part of that big initial fight is that we got to understand what we are good for and
Mm-hmm.
what we like doing. Because what when we do things we are good for, our brain spends less energy,
Okay.
and since we find pleasure in doing that because it is easy and it is fun,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we tend to um, inject ourselves with some um, neurotransmitters of happiness like serotonin,
Mm-hmm.
dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, right? And that energizes us, right? And on the other hand, when we do things we like,
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same happens. So,
Okay.
so we gotta recover energy from these reactions, from these boundaries we don't set, etc., etc.
Yes.
And additionally and complementarily, we have to understand what do we do good and do
Mm-hmm.
more of that, and what do we like in order to do more of that, right? That's the way we recover energy to do anything we want.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So that's to recover the energy, right? Like to be in our zone of genius. Some people call it the zone of genius.
Mm-hmm. It is exactly that. It is exactly that. We spend less energy and we
Mm-hmm.
become physically, biologically more happy,
Yeah, yeah.
which is which is great, which is a great formula, by the way.
Okay, great. So that is the first. So to have emotional balance and manage our energy. Okay, so we should do that consciously, right? Like every day, we should do it intentionally. I
Yes.
suppose, because sometimes we fall into this, like everyday situation, this routine, and then we forget. And when we get to this point in which we cannot anymore, it's like, oh, we remember that we have to manage our energy, right? But we should do it like kind of intentionally.
That the idea is that you learn how to physically manage the this um, overwhelming response, because
Mm-hmm.
we will always tend to react in some situations, and that's good because some of those reactions helps us to, for instance, set boundaries, right? So it's not about canceling our emotions. It is about balancing this overwhelming uncontrolled reaction
Mm-hmm.
in the body. So the next time you face an adverse situation, you don't overreact and just react. So we seek to be an unconscious response, an
Okay.
unconscious process, right? But partially unconscious and of course partially conscious, because you also learn how to observe what's going on in your body when you feel something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is about governing yourself. It's all about that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think we can apply that no matter the situation, like whether, I don't know, because we're talking about this, professional context, then it doesn't matter if it is, like in a job interview, or if it is in a presentation, or if it is that you're asking for a salary raise, or if you're talking to your colleagues or whatever. This is why you're working with leaders, right? Because there's a
Mm.
higher level of responsibility when you're managing other people too, right?
Yeah, that's the reason I work with leaders through the Invincible framework on a one-on-one format, right?
Why invisible, first of all?
Um, I don't know. It was boom. It just came. The name came, but I think it was because um, words like invincible or
Mm-hmm.
unbreakable or unconquerable or untamable, I don't know, uh, they,
Empowering.
they communicate something to us,
Yes.
and they communicate that it's all on us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on us. I mean, no one is to blame. No one is to blame for our problems. No one. We got to understand that deeply, because in this society we're full of, oh, I'm bad, but it's your fault. But it's
Yes.
the president's fault. It is my boss's fault, my significant other's fault, everyone else's fault, but mine. So don't you ever ask me to change. You change first.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, You know, no one makes a difference by thinking like that. No one
Yes.
that I know, at least. The first, the first human being you must govern and control and drive is yourself. First, you change yourself. You get better. No matter where you are, how high you are, how low you are, no matter where you are, first thing, you change yourself. Second, by doing that, automatically you change the world for the ones that depend on you. Your kids, your couple, your family, I don't know, your
Yes.
team. And then, but by irradiating this on them, you inspire part of them to change. And they, together with you, change the whole.
Mm-hmm.
But what's what's ground zero? What where do we start? In ourselves, always in ourselves. And the invisible concept has to do with that. Has to do with, hey, you gotta become invincible because life is gonna throw rocks to you.
Yes.
It is going to do it. You cannot change all the people in the world around you by saying, hey, don't throw rocks at me. No, you can't. You
No.
can't. But you know why you can't? Because it is not fair. Because imagine I have another human being in front of me, my boss, anyone, and he has some emotional problems.
Mm-hmm.
He's struggling in life with some things, I don't know, or with his own boss maybe, right? And he throws some rocks at me. Really, can I say, hey, stop throwing rocks to me? Yes, you can, through setting some boundaries there. But you
Mm-hmm.
cannot change who he or she is.
Yeah.
You can only change how do you respond to what your response to that is. The only thing you can control is what are you going to do with that rock.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot convince him that he must throw a rock. In fact, maybe I have another person at my left or my right who thinks their purpose in life is to throw rocks to others. And I cannot convince them otherwise.
Absolutely.
The only thing I can really do is preparing myself and preparing the one question I have to do to myself in every situation. What am I going to do with this rock?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And throwing it back to the person is not an option, right? It is not.
Sorry, I lost it. I lost you for a second.
I was saying that taking the rock and throwing it back to the person is not an option.
If you think throwing a rock is wrong, and you respond to them by throwing the rock back, now
That
there
makes
are
no sense.
two rocks thrown. So what's the sense of that? Of
Yeah.
course you can. Of course you can. I mean, I know a lot of good people who says, hey, I wouldn't throw the rock again because I gotta be strong enough in order to make the rock does nothing to me, right? But I know another group of really good people too are making the difference in their lives and in thousands of
Mm-hmm.
people's lives that say, hey, throw me a rock and I'm gonna throw you back a planet,
Yes.
right? And it, I mean, it's in every person's nature.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, what can I do for myself, from myself?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can do. Take my own decisions about that rock.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can do. Right.
What about the framework? I mean, why a framework and not a program, a course? Why a framework? And what is it about?
Because it's not a program, because since it's a one-on-one coaching format,
Okay.
everyone's reality is different. Everyone is in different points of personal development. They have different strengths, different weaknesses. So what I bring to the table is this framework, which is a toolbox basically, and a specific way of seeing life, specific philosophy, if you want it. So we begin understanding what their challenges are in this stage of their professional and personal life, because we don't have two
Mm-hmm.
lives, we have just one. And it must be the same. We must be the same human being in both our personal spheres and professional spheres, right?
Yep.
And we apply tools differently and with different perspectives and with different depths, depending on the needs of the person who I fall in love with, because I have to fall in love with them in order to fall in love with
Yes.
their problems. Uh, if I had built a program with this framework, as I see it, is, hey, I'm in love with my product. I'm in love with me. But no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love with you, because
Exactly.
you're the one to that has come to me saying always the same thing. Hey, I think you can help me with my problem. I really resonate with what you say. You're a different guy. You sound harsh sometimes. You sound hard sometimes. But I resonate with your view of life, and I think
Mm-hmm.
you can help me with my challenge.
Yes.
So I fall in love with them
Yeah.
because it's their challenge and becomes mine, and I become the defender of the result in that precise instant.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, before we go on with the framework, so you can give us like a general idea of how it works. I have this comment from Maria. She says, I don't know, we cannot see her picture here, but it says, the rock in the English learning environment, maybe someone laughing at me because of my mistakes, my accent. Yes.
Yes, whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
What can you do? Hey, do not offend me. Come on, come on.
Yes.
Maybe
They
he or
don't
she can
care.
say, I wasn't trying to offend you. I
Hmm.
just laugh about things because I've been raised to laugh about things. And I'm 30 years old and I've been raised to laugh about things. It's not a bad thing for me in my personal environment, not bad for my family. We all laugh about everything, you know? So the only thing you can do is working on yourself and your accent, of course. Take the message, always take the message, always take the message. But
Yes.
what they do, it's their challenge, their stuff.
And what happens if we're self-sabotaging? I mean, we're throwing ourselves those rocks.
That's um, that's the second step or the second pillar of the framework. Our
Okay,
mindset,
great.
our beliefs, right? Uh, our mindset, our beliefs is
Mm-hmm.
the map we walk reality with,
Okay.
right? So if step one is about balancing ourselves emotionally and energetically,
Mm-hmm.
the step two is working on our beliefs and mentality. Because
Mm.
for this new stage of your life, you need a new map, right?
Yes.
Maybe the old map worked fine till here, until now, but then you need a better map or a completely new one, right?
Yes.
So we got to understand what's wrong with the old one in form of how do we sabotage ourselves. What are,
Mm-hmm.
what are those things we are completely convinced of that are not true, right? When I coached um, people in between jobs,
Mm-hmm.
they used to say to me, "Oh, it's difficult. The market is really difficult. Whew, they're not paying enough. They're not hiring women. No, I know it's that. I know it's like that. It's terrible, but I know I'm old. I know it's. I know it's not that I
Yes.
think that I'm old. It's that I'm old, right?
Yeah.
Because right, tens or hundreds of people are saying that, but those hundreds of people are not making any difference on their lives, and some other
Yes.
people are. And I can assure you, because I know it from
Mm-hmm.
first source, all those people that are making a difference are the one that are not convinced of that lie, because it
Yes.
is a lie. It is not physics, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gravity. It is a belief shared by a lot of people, but it's not the absolute truth, and it cannot be written in stone for you. because it is part of an old map you need to change. So we work on that too. We have first emotional balancing, energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have beliefs and mentality, because we need to love ourselves, but not through shallow words, right?
Okay.
I insist on this. It is not about only positive thinking and vibe higher. No, it's not about that. It is about that, but that's like
Mm-hmm.
a step of the equation. We need to go deep first.
Yes.
We need to go to the origin first. We need to go to the math first,
Mm-hmm.
right?
The reason, the origin. Yep.
Yeah. From there, we get the strength. From that integration with our shadow
Mm-hmm.
and our pains and our past, we go through that in order to get better. But we need to, if we fear a spider, we see the spider. We
Yes.
face the spider in order to do something, because the spider is gonna stay there
Yes.
if we turn our backs. We're not solving anything by turning our back on the spider. If we do
Mm-hmm.
something, right? Here's
Yes.
exactly right.
I'm a non-native speaker, for example. That is a limiting belief.
Look at me.
Um,
Hear
I
me.
don't have the appropriate level to get that job. That's a limiting belief. I haven't practiced for 4 years, for 2 years, so I'm rusty. That is a limiting belief.
Yeah. Uh, you know, life is not static.
Mm-hmm.
It is constantly evolving. We are constantly walking through life. We are moving through life. So it is different if I say I'm bad at English. I suck at English. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Now, in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
circumstantially, I'm sucking at English, and I'm laugh of it. It's not. It's not something I am embarrassed for,
Yeah.
because it is the way it is, and it's on me to change it. So, how am I speaking today? From
Yes.
1 to 10. I mean, I I would mark myself a 4, maybe 4 out of 10. Three, three,
Mm-hmm.
4. I know I can do better,
Yes,
and I know
absolutely.
it's on me, and I know it takes practice, because everything we do repeatedly becomes a brain
A
pattern,
truth. Yes.
right? Uh, becomes a brain pattern that gets us better and better and better
Yep.
at doing that, right?
Yep. Yep.
So maybe if I join your club
Mm-hmm.
in 1 year from now, I will be a 7 out of 10, not a 4 out of 10. And in 2 years, I could be a 9 or a 10, or a solid 10 out of 10. I don't know, but listen to how I am saying it. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
in life I am a 4 out of 10 English speaker.
Of course.
No. Today, December 16th, the birthday of my first daughter, by the way, um, I am a 4 out of 10 today because I haven't practiced enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if one of my objectives is to get better at English, I gotta make a plan. What's that plan? I gotta take some action. I could blame other people. No, it's they don't speak to me, so it's their fault. So I'm a 4 because my parents didn't teach me enough English, and it's their fault.
Mm-hmm.
I am not to blame. Where's that gonna get me?
Nowhere.
You know where it's gonna get me? To a 3 or a 2 or a 1 out of 10 in 1 year from now. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's not the solution. So if I want to get better, I will make a
Mm-hmm.
plan. I will practice. I will work my ass off, and maybe I will become a 10 out of 10 sometime, because I know I can, because of
Mm-hmm.
neuroplasticity, because of what I know about neuroscience, because of growth mentality. Those are terms you should write down: growth mentality, neuroplasticity, neuroscience.
Okay.
and epigenetics too. Those are things I've been discovering the last 4 years, and they are the future of mankind.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. They should teach that at school.
Yes.
That would be amazing if they could teach that at school. We have Yuri here. He's another member of the speaking club and the membership. He says one of the limiting beliefs is too late to start. Absolutely, that is a huge limiting belief. It is too late to start.
Yeah, that's completely real. That's completely real. I listen to what I'm about to say. I'm not going to coach forever. I'm going to coach for the next 6 to 12 months one-on-one, because I'm going to engage at different challenges. But I am eventually going to become a full-time writer and public speaker. It's not that I could possibly, maybe there's a slight possibility of me maybe, I don't know. No. I will be a full-time writer and speaker. Is it going to take me 1 year, 2, or 5? I don't know, but I will be that, right? I am where I am because 2 or 3 years ago I said I'm gonna coach high performance people. I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, a completely independent professional, and that's what I am. I've had 2 or 3 years, right? But I'm here. I'm being successful at this. I'm having a really great time.
And you're helping others, which is the most important thing.
Anything and everything you do in life, you must help other people. Anything that's coming back to you, it's just because of one reason, of you helping others. Do not try to help yourself. Always try to embrace the challenge of helping others through what you've got. I mean, always look inside for your strengths, for your talents, for your passions. Those 3 things are the key. What are my strengths? What am I really good at? What are those talents I have since forever? I mean, what were my favorite games when I was a kid, right? And what are my causes, my passions? What drives me forward? Right? When you get those 3, you say, okay, that's step 1. That's step 1. This is my gift for mankind. This is my gift for humanity, right? And the second step is, okay, who needs this? Who needs this? Who can I help with this?
Yeah.
Who's struggling with this? I know how to solve so well. Whose life can I make better through this? Right? That's step number 2, by becoming someone with purpose in your life.
Yes.
And step number 3 is, okay, how do I reach to them? Or the channel.
Where they are, yeah.
3 steps, simple.
Awesome.
And it's always early to start. It's always the perfect time. It's Carolina, or it's too early to start. No. Today is always perfect, because today is all we've got. Today is all we've got. I'm 40. I was an executive in companies until 36. I was a clone of thousands of people. Now I'm not a clone of thousands of people, but in 2 years, I will be the clone of no one. Because every single day of my life, and that's the invitation I want to make to you, every single day of my life, the challenge is to become more of me and less of others.
I love that. I love that. Look at this. Carolyn is also asking, but I don't know if you want to answer this later so we can continue with the framework. But she asks, hi, coach, what can you recommend to avoid procrastination? We can go live just to talk about this topic. We can have another complete live.
Look, no, let's go with this immediately, because it is part of the 3rd pillar of the framework, which is habits, elite habits. Look at
Great.
those
I
books
love that word.
behind me. Look at those books behind me. They're all about performance, human performance, business
Mm-hmm.
performance, sports performance mentality. I love that because once we get in balance and in control of ourselves, in govern of ourselves and our energy, and we have the right map to go through life, we need uh, practices and habits and actions that that help us leap forward, not
Mm-hmm.
backwards. Right? Procrastination is something that happens because our brain always wants only two things: happy, no, not happy, easy and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain wants to do things easy and fun because our brain, most of our brain, don't want to engage new challenges that makes us spend more energy,
Mm-hmm.
because for most of the brain we are here to survive. So
Mm-hmm.
how do we trick this? Of course, it's a really long conversation, but made simple, uh, always have a purpose for whatever you do. Have the utmost clarity for whatever you are about to engage. Okay, why am I doing this? What am I trying to improve by doing this? What's the goal behind this? Right, that goal, that objective, that direction. Step one. And step two, dissect your plan. Make a plan, of course, and dissect
Mm-hmm.
it into uh, the minimal possible unit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And dissect it into simple, unignorable tasks, and then scale them, right? So help your brain understanding that every step you go through
Mm-hmm.
is easy, at least easy, not necessarily fun, but easy. Yeah. You also need some emotional balancing techniques in order to escape from the pain of engaging some specific task that has to do with your patterns. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but but make it simple for your brain, and I'm gonna share with you two really simple techniques in order to avoid procrastination. When you set a goal, when you set a plan, when you set actions, unignorable actions, and you say, okay, I'm going to engage this, but first a coffee. I'm gonna go. No. Take your phone and set a 10-minute alarm. 10-minute alarm. All right, 10-minute alarm. So okay, I'm going to go for a coffee in 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Right. For your brain, that's closing that cycle. So that question has been solved, and the problem of the coffee has been engaged through that alarm.
Yes.
Most of the time, this comes from a guy called Nir Eyal, who's a performance coach too. I watched something from him. I learned something from him a year ago. I know. Uh, Rule number two from the great North American coach Mel Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
She has a rule called the 5 second rule.
Yes, I love her. Mm-hmm.
I'm losing you. I lost you. What do you say? I lost you the last five
Oh,
seconds.
oh, oh. No. I say I love her.
Yeah. Anytime this procrastination thought comes through, say, hey, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when I count
Mm-hmm.
one, I will re-engage in what I was doing, which is a way of telling that part of your brain, just shut up, which is exactly what we need to do. It's
Yes.
magnificent because you say, shut up, and it shuts up. Yeah. So, oh, I got to go for that coffee. No, I don't have to go for that coffee. I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when it gets to 1, I'm going to re-engage what I'm doing because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you get back what you must be doing in that moment.
Yes.
Right? Like, shut up. And a third rule that's really useful, that many people have told me this, is the not today rule. And it's as simple as that. When that thought arises, you just say, hey, not today. And you, because by that you're telling yourself, hey, I understand what you're trying to do. You gotta get me out of my goals. You want easy and fun? No, I want difficult. Because
Yes.
I want a milestone today. I'm looking for a breakthrough today, and I deserve this more than a coffee. Because it's not about the coffee. It's never about the coffee. It is about I don't want to spend more energy than what's minimally necessary in order to survive.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's about the distraction.
Yeah,
right?
It's about distractions, but not external distractions. It's not about external distractions like social network, WhatsApp. No. It is about this. It is about our brain saying, I go for a coffee, take a nap. 5 more minutes in bed. 5 more minutes in bed. Forget that. That's going to take you nowhere.
Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay. Caro, let us know if you have any other question about it. Okay. So we were on step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, step 3 to create habits.
Yeah, habits in order to engage our challenges. There are a step 4 and 5, but they are the same we have listened to since year 0, which are actions and result.
Okay.
We think it is all about actions and result, but no, it is about these 3 things. It is about emotional balancing, it is about beliefs and mentality, and it is about habits. You win those 3 battles, you win any battle.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. That's the framework I work with.
Okay. So if there's planning, there's, action, there are some actions.
Yes.
Thank you both. No, thanks to you for being here, listening and paying attention. Great. So yeah, I mean, if one of the steps is to plan, to prepare, to create habits, then obviously we have to work on that, right? To make it happen, to make things happen.
Yes, but it's not about it's not about the force of will. It is about emotions. It is about pain. It is about how you feel in your body, and what are the thoughts that arise here when you win those battles, when you govern those feelings in your body, those sensations in your body, you are in a more relaxed and balanced and focused state in order to engage any challenge.
Yes,
that's the reason of why these three battles are the really important battles.
They are. It is not easy. Okay, I'm going to repeat them just in case. So first of all is having emotional balance, managing our energy, right? Then to work on our limiting beliefs. Okay.
Yes.
That's huge. And then creating habits around whatever it is that we want to achieve.
Anything in life. Anything. Because it is human behavior, not professional behavior, not professional performance. It's human performance.
I like that distinction because it's like when we talk about performance, high performance, blah, 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 people always, like they talk about business, like because of you want to be a great professional and you want to be a high level, any occupation you have. But it is about everything. It's not only about our job, right?
No. It is about your human performance,
Mm-hmm.
it's three pillars: physical performance, mental performance, spiritual performance. Yeah, you must develop those three pillars. It's not about one of them. It's not about mental performance. It is about human performance.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Let me check here. Well, people, I don't know if you have any questions or any comments about what we have been discussing. Enrique, is there any great techniques? Thanks. Maria says. Great technique, thanks.
Just
Thanks
the
to
tip of
you.
the iceberg. Just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's a lot, you know. Now, is there anything else, Enrique, that you would like to share to this, community, my community, your community? Anything else to share just to close this 2021 and start this 2022, invincible?
Yeah, there's only one message I want to to engage with. Um, it's all on you. It's all on you. It is in your hands. It is in your heart. No one is to blame,
Mm.
and there's no need to go through blame. You know, we're responsible. We're 100% responsible of what happens with our lives from this day on. And it's always day one. It's always day one. You can make incredible shifts in your lives if you start today, no matter if you're 20, 30, 50, or 70. It really doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It really doesn't matter. But you have to, um, and this is really important for this closing message, engage a zero options mentality from this day on.
Okay.
Burn your boats. If you want to engage change, burn your boats. Don't say, perhaps I want to change this in my life because no, not at all. That's not the way. I'm gonna change this
Mhm.
no matter what. Because I have zero options of not doing this. I
Okay.
have zero options of not doing this. Zero options of not doing this. Tell your brain and tell your heart and every cell of you that you are going
Mhm.
to change, you're going to engage this change because you deserve it, and you're gonna be the responsible, you're gonna be the main character in this movie. That's your life. You are the main character of this movie. That's your life. No one else is. No one else. You. And that's it.
Yes, absolutely. I love this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have to create some kind of, posts with
Mm.
your interviews, guys, because these interviews have been amazing, and there's a lot of, you know, interesting things to share with people. And what about, like, I'm going to share again your
Uh-huh.
profile here on LinkedIn so people can connect with you, can, like, read your posts, engage with you. Let me share the link here.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you post on LinkedIn. Like, what will they find if they follow you, if
Um,
they connect with you?
yeah. If you follow me, you're gonna receive weekly videos about performance stuff, about emotional balancing stuff, about this framework, about philosophy, about my personal view of life, which is not the the view of life with that most of the people have today. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone likes it,
Yes.
but if you like if you resonate with it, I'm glad that you follow me, right? Besides,
Mm-hmm.
I want to invite you to stay in touch because somewhere between January 15th and February 15th, 2022, I'm launching um, a coaching group called the Game Changer Group. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about that,
Yes.
anything else, but I mean, not everyone can or want to afford a coaching framework that is in the thousands of dollars, right?
Of
Which is
course.
what I charge for the Invincible framework work, right? But this is going to be a subscription coaching group with one live class in Spanish. It's in Spanish. I'm very there, but
That's okay. That's
and
okay.
I'm gonna teach about. We're gonna have balancing, emotional balancing techniques, meditation techniques,
Okay.
visualization techniques, neuroscience techniques, and then leadership things, mentality things, belief things, habit
Mm,
things, um, high quality material. Yeah, it's not the
great.
same you have been listening or reading. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. Special things, and then we're gonna engage Q&A at the end of each 1 hour long meeting,
Okay.
live meetings, right? Live calls. I love I love thinking of that because not everyone can afford Invincible, and I want to impact more people, like I have done with group programs these last 3 years. And
Mm-hmm.
it's time to do it again.
Of
So stay
course.
in touch for the Game Changer group.
Yay. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to share that with us. And guys, really, join him on Instagram. And I just shared the link and also on LinkedIn because his videos are
Mhm.
amazing. It's like I was, when we were preparing this meeting, I asked him, like, how did you do? I mean, how did you get all those ideas and that creativity to create those videos? Those are amazing. And there's a lot of insights. Whenever people watch your videos, that happens to me. It's like we have those aha moments, like aha, right? Like like these videos are eye opening. So it is amazing. It is amazing. And before we go, there's something here from Carolina. Yeah, because I know that you want to celebrate with your daughter. So look at this. I have one question. What do you think about most of the conversations related to personal development around productivity?
That's just part of the equation. That's what I think. That's part of the
Okay.
equation because it is part of the framework I defend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it is about productivity because productivity means impact. If you want to get better yourself, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
understand if you're doing well by looking at how are you impacting the world around you, your own world,
Yes.
the world around you. But it's not the only piece of it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about force of will and brute strength. It is not about that. We need to understand what we flow with. We gotta understand how to heal our emotional traumas or pains or struggles. We struggle a lot emotionally. We need to address that first, and we need to understand what we are convinced of. All of
Mm-hmm.
that before, or at least in parallel, of putting there some new habits and becoming an elite performer, etc., etc. Yeah, just part of a bigger equation. That's what I think. Or not what I think. It is what I've discovered in my own journey. All
Mm-hmm.
this is product of my own journey. I will never, ever share something with you that I haven't applied in my own life first. Ever. That's my rule.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I can say that if you're invincible, then you also impact, with all your energy, other people. I mean, you're creating this energy for you and other
Mhm.
people around you too, or this impact.
That's it. That's it.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you, Gabby.
time. I
Thank you,
truly
Gabby, for inviting.
appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. I will share, like the link to this live with everyone in the community so they can see it too. And I hope to have you anytime soon again to chat
Marvelous.
about, like Invincible and Game Changer, because I mean,
Game
that is
changer.
such an amazing phrase, and I really like to use it because learning a language is a game changer. Learning about yourself it's a game changer. Being invincible is a game changer. So I really like to have, like this phrase, around, because there are many things that we can do that we think are really, really, like small or not important, but they are game changers. So
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Gabby. Thanks for
Thanks
inviting
to
me.
you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for your time. Thank you guys for being here and participate. If you have any questions, well, just write it in the comments and then we will answer. Thank you so much, Enrique. Hope to have you anytime soon.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.